Welcome to Doctor Interested podcast. In this episode, we're starting with something that's widely talked about and widely misunderstood: schizophrenia. If your first mental image is a violent criminal, someone with two personalities, or a horror movie villain, you're not alone. But almost everything popular culture has taught us about schizophrenia is wrong. So today, we're going to break it down in a simple way. First, we're going to talk about what schizophrenia actually is, what it definitely is not, and why the media keeps getting it so wrong. So, what is schizophrenia? Let's start with the basics. Schizophrenia is a chronic mental health condition that affects how a person thinks, perceives reality, processes information, and sometimes how they experience the world. It usually begins in late adolescence or early childhood, and it's not caused by bad parenting, personal weakness, or a lack of willpower. At its core, schizophrenia is a disorder of perception and interpretation, especially when it comes to reality. Think of it like this: most of us share a general agreement about what's real, what we see, hear, and believe. For someone with schizophrenia, the shared reality can become distorted. That doesn't mean they're crazy. It means their brain is sending them information that doesn't line up with what others are experiencing. And symptoms of schizophrenia are usually grouped into three categories. I'll keep this straightforward. Positive symptoms. Now, positive symptoms doesn't mean good. It just means something added to normal experience. These can include hallucinations, hearing voices in the most common voices that comment, criticize, or talk to each other. But hallucinations can also be visual, tactile, or sensory. And delusions. These are strongly held beliefs that aren't based in reality, like believing you're being watched, followed, controlled, or that ordinary events have secret meanings just for you. And important point to note, delusions aren't the same as just being wrong or paranoid once in a while. They feel absolutely real to the person experiencing them. So you can understand the struggle they're going through, while we have these stereotypes that they are insanely mad, even though they're struggling with these delusions. Negative symptoms. These are often overlooked, but they can be the most disabling. Negative means something is missing or reduced, such as low motivation, reduced emotional expression, social withdrawal, difficulty experiencing pleasure, or speaking very less. This is often mistaken for laziness or depression, but it's neither. Imagine your brain struggling to generate motivation the way it used to. That's not a character flaw. Let's discuss the cognitive symptoms of schizophrenia. These affect thinking and memory, where the person has trouble focusing, difficulty organizing thoughts, problems with working memory, and slower processing of information. These symptoms make school, work, and everyday tasks incredibly challenging, even when someone wants to function normally. Let's clear up the biggest myth right now. Schizophrenia is not split personality. That confusion comes from the word itself. Schizo means split, but it refers to a split from reality, not a split into multiple identities. The condition people are thinking of when they say split personality is actually called dissociative identity disorder, or DID, and it's also pronounced as did, and it's completely different. Schizophrenia. It is a disorder of perception where reality itself becomes distorted. And for dissociative identity disorder, this is a disorder of identity involving disassociation with multiple identity states. People with schizophrenia do not switch personalities. They don't suddenly become someone else. This misconception alone has caused decades of stigma, fear, and misinformation. So, are people with schizophrenia dangerous? simple answer is no. After what you've learned, you may be able to make a decision for yourself as well. People with schizophrenia are far more likely to be victims of violence than perpetrators. The idea that schizophrenia equals danger mostly comes from movies, TV shows, and sensational news coverage. When violence does occur, it usually is linked to untreated symptoms, substance use, or lack of access to mental health care, not the diagnosis itself. Most people living with schizophrenia are just trying to manage their symptoms, maintain relationships, and live meaningful lives like anyone else. You may question, why does media get it so wrong? And why does the media keep messing this up? Because fear sells. Schizophrenia is often used as a shortcut for unpredictable, a villain origin story, or shocking plot twist. Instead of showing the reality, which is often quiet, internal, and complex, media turns it into something dramatic and terrifying. But here's the problem: when schizophrenia is portrayed as violent or monstrous, people stop seeing the human being behind the diagnosis. The stigma leads to delayed treatment, social isolation, discrimination, and shame. And shame is one of the biggest barriers to recovery. People hide who they are. People have fear of seeking help, which is not a kind of environment we shall not create. We shall try to make it easy for people to come about with these illnesses and talk about it and find a cure for it. Also, you may wonder what schizophrenia actually looks like day to day. Most days, schizophrenia doesn't look like chaos. It looks just like someone struggling to concentrate, someone questioning their own thoughts, someone trying to decide what they're experiencing is real, or someone just exhausted from managing symptoms you can't see. With treatment, which often includes medication, therapy, and social support, many people with schizophrenia can and do live stable, fulfilling lives. They are artists, students, parents, workers, co-workers, friends, and etc. They fill many roles in this world. They are not their diagnosis. So, if there's one takeaway from today, let it be this: schizophrenia is not a horror story, it's not a split personality, and it's not a moral failing. It's a mental health condition, one that deserves understanding, accuracy, and compassion. In future episodes, we'll talk more about treatment, lived experiences, and how we can help reduce stigma, starting with getting the facts right. Thanks for listening, and if this episode challenged something you thought you knew, that's a good thing. And keep supporting us. Thank you.